Have you ever had that uncomfortable situation that, at the time your penis just didn't respond? Do you think it's just tiredness or stress? Careful. This can be much more serious than you think. And if I told you that more than 50% of men over 50 suffer from some degree of erectile dysfunction, and most of them don't even know why this is happening? The truth is that the difficulty in maintaining a firm and lasting erection is not just a sexual problem. It is a sign, a warning of your body, a red flag warning that your male health is at risk, and you may be ignoring. Problems such as compromised blood circulation, prostate inflammation, low testosterone production, chronic stress, and even bad eating habits are sabotaging you. Silently. Your erection is a direct reflection of your overall health. If it is failing, it is because something inside you is too, and it goes far beyond bed. It affects your self-esteem, your mood, your energy, your relationship, and even your mental health. Believe me, when a man doesn't feel more manly, everything around begins to lose meaning. And do you know what is worse? Many men prefer to shut up. They feel ashamed, fear, or simply believe it is age of age, but it is not. You do not need to accept living with erectile dysfunction. And the worst mistake you can make is to think that a blue tablet will solve the root of the problem. This is just a palliative, and disguise, a temporary illusion. But calm down. I'm not here to judge you. On the contrary, I am here to help you regain your power, your confidence, your virility. There is a natural way, safe and scientifically proven, to again have firm and spontaneous erections, even today that seems impossible. Best of all, you can start today with a simple but extremely powerful change. In this video, I will show you what is really preventing your penis from getting hard, and how you can start turning this game with attitudes that maybe no one has ever told you. No magical solutions or false promises. Here is direct, practical, and reality content based on thousands of men who have been able to transform intimate health without depending on expensive medicines or invasive procedures. Now I make you an invitation. I don't close this video. Do not ignore that sign. Because if you are here watching, it's because your body is already asking for help. And what I will show you may be exactly what you needed to find out. But before continuing, comments down here. Have you had any difficulties in maintaining an erection? Do you believe this may be related to your prostate health or your routine? Your comment can help other men who are going through it. And now, pay close attention, because what I will tell you next can completely change the way you see your virility. And when we talk about virility, we're not just talking about sex. We are talking about vitality, confidence, inner strength. If your penis is not getting hard as before, it is no bad luck or weakness. This is your body trying to show you that something inside is out of balance. Did you know that erection depends directly on the quality of your blood flow? If the blood does not circulate well, it does not arrive hard enough to maintain a firm erection. Now guess what may be blocking this flow? Physicalism, inflammatory diet, excess alcohol, constant stress, sleepless nights, excessive use of pornography, and the most ignored of all, the health of the prostate. Yes, the inflamed or increased prostate can press structures that affect the circulation and functioning of the reproductive system. And if you think you only feel it when you will urinate, you're wrong. The prostate is directly linked to its sexual performance, its sensitivity, and even the production of male hormones. Many men will only realize when the situation is already critical, when they can no longer maintain an erection at any time, when desire disappears, when the partner begins to realize that something is wrong, and silence becomes a weight between the two. Therefore, you need to understand the content of this video until the end, because this may be the key turn that your body is begging. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever stopped to think that your prostate may be influencing your erection difficulty? Have you done any exam recently? How is your food routine? Exercises? Rest? Leave it here in the comments. Your testimonial can be alert or even inspired by other men who are going through the same thing, but they still don't have the courage to talk about it. And if you are finding this content useful, already leave your like right now. It helps YouTube understand that this video is important and should be shown to more people. Subscribe to the channel and activates the bell, because the next videos, I will show you the exercises, foods, and habits that will help you recover your power naturally without depending on any medicine. Your virility is in your hands. And the first step begins with knowledge and attitude. So stay with me. because now we will say exactly what is causing these problems and what you can start to change today to reverse this picture. Most men, when you realize that the penis is not getting hard as before, thinks the problem is just down there, and then it begins to look for immediate solutions, miracle pills, remedies bought without recipe, or even those bizarre internet recipes. But the truth is hard. This kind of solution only seals the hole for a while. The origin of the problem, the root of erectile dysfunction, is much deeper and within you, literally. If you are over 40, you need to understand that your body has changed. The same attitudes as when you were 25 or 30 years old won't work anymore. Erection, contrary to popular belief, is not a simple reflection of desire. It is a complex biological phenomenon that involves the nervous system, blood circulation, hormonal balance, mental health, and of course, the condition of its prostate. When any of these systems is unbalanced, their sexual performance suffers. And the problem does not always warn in advance, it simply appears. At the worst moment, blood needs to circulate with intensity, strength, and fluidity so that you have a firm erection. And for this to happen, your arteries need to be clean, their healthy vessels, and your heart beating with energy. But what happens when you spend all day sitting, feeding badly, sleeping badly, and clogging yourself with stress? Blood thickens, the vessels inflate, and the result is inevitable. Erection begins to fail. Once, twice, and soon you start doubling yourself. What's more, if you are fighting overweight, hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes, or prediabetes, extremely common problems after 40, know that they are all directly associated with erectile dysfunction. Excess blood sugar, for example, destroys the peripheral nerves responsible for penile sensitivity. Hypertension, in addition to damaging vessels, decreases the natural production of testosterone, the essential hormone for sexual desire and quality erection. But the great silent villain, which few men realize until it's too late, is the inflamed or increased prostate. The prostate is not just a gland forgotten there in its body. It has a crucial function in its sexual function, sperm production, and even the strength of its ejaculation. When it begins to increase in size, either by age or bad habits, it compresses the nerves and channels where the semen passes, which can generate pain, discomfort, loss of sensitivity, and of course impotence. And the frightening thing is that this happens quietly. You go to the bathroom more often at night, the urinary jet gets weaker, you feel that it does not empty the bladder completely. All of this are signs, small alerts, but the man ignores, follow life thinking that it is normal, until on an important night, that failure happens again. Worse, it begins to happen more and more often. It is at this point that many begin to feel frustrated, embarrassed, avoid physical contact, avoid their partner, create excuses. And all this is corroding self-esteem. The truth is that no one talks about it openly, but thousands of men are suffering exactly what you may be feeling now. Worst of all, many of these men are letting the problem grow, silently, for pure lack of information. Another factor that is rarely spoken clearly is the impact of chronic stress. When the body is under constant tension, the brain enters alert mode. This directly affects testosterone production, blocks desire, and interferes with erection. Your body prioritizes survival, not pleasure. And stress, besides affecting the mind, causes systemic inflammation that even affects the prostate. That's right. Stress ignites your prostate, and you think the problem was just psychological. And speaking of hormones, testosterone deserves special attention. It is not just the hormone of desire. It is the fuel of masculinity. It is she who maintains her energy, her willingness, her muscle strength, her motivation, and of course her sexual power. But after 40, her natural production begins to fall slowly. If you are not taking care of yourself, this decline accelerates. Lack of exercise, sleepless nights, excess alcohol, and exaggerated consumption of processed carbohydrates are true poisons for testosterone. And the lower the level of testosterone, the lower its desire, the weaker its erection, and the greater the risk of developing serious problems such as hypogonadism and even depression. That's because testosterone also regulates her mood. When it is low, life loses its shine. You wake up tired, without mood, annoyed by everything, without focus, and without desire for anything. Now imagine living years like this without realizing that it all started because of an intimate health that was being set aside. The modern routine is poisoning men without their realization. Spend hours sitting, exposed to artificial light, ingesting processed foods, sleeping badly, not exercising, and living under absurd pressure. This is the perfect combo for you to lose your virility. And the worst? Many men think this is a natural part of age, that everything is okay to accept a life without desire, without erection, without pleasure. But this is not normal. This is a sign that something needs to change urgently. And if you got here, it's because deep down, you feel something is wrong, and you want to change. You want to feel man again, strong, able, desiring, and desired. And the good news is that this is possible. The bad news is that there is no miracle, but there is knowledge and action. From the moment you understand what is behind this fall in your power, you get the power to turn this game. So continue with me, because we still have a lot to talk about. In the next few minutes, I will reveal you the 3 most dangerous and silent habits that are killing your erection every day, without you realizing it. What's more, I will show you how you can start to reverse it today. Naturally, no remedy, without surgery, shameless. And before I follow, I want to ask you something important. If you are identifying with all this, leave a comment below. It can be a simple, "I've been through this," or "I need to change urgently." You can even write, "I want my power back." Choose the phrase that most represents what you feel and write. This helps other people feel less alone. It also shows me that this content is making sense to you. You have come here because you felt deep down that there is something in your life that needs to change. Something that perhaps is stealing your energy, your vitality, your trust. And now it's time to open your eyes to 3 extremely common habits that are destroying the sexual health of thousands of men, often without their realization. Habits that have become so normal in everyday life that almost no one questions anymore. But they are gradually undermining their ability to have a firm, healthy, spontaneous erection. And I want you to pay attention to every word that I will tell you now, because it can change everything. The first habit is so simple and so ignored that it is scary. Lack of movement, physical inactivity is killing erection in a quiet way. And the worst is that many men don't even realize how directly this is affecting their sex life. The erection happens when blood flows hard into the penis, filling the cavernous bodies and causing it to be rigid. And what guarantees this flow of blood is precisely the good circulation. And what activates and strengthens this circulation is movement, regular physical activity, the exercise. When you spend all day sitting, standing in front of your computer, television, or driving for hours, your blood begins to circulate slower. The pressure drops. The vessels lose elasticity. Oxygen does not come right at the ends of the body. And believe me, the penis is one of the first regions to feel this impact. It's like the body said, "If you don't move, I won't react either." In addition, physical inactivity contributes to the accumulation of abdominal fat, which is not just aesthetic. This fat is highly inflammatory and directly interferes with testosterone production, the essential hormone for desire and sexual performance. And here comes a data that many ignore. The big belly is closely linked to sexual impotence. Men with increased abdominal waist have lower testosterone levels and a much higher chance of suffering from erectile dysfunction. It is a destructive cycle. The less you move, the less testosterone you produce. The less testosterone, the less desire. And less desire leads to less erection. And all of this is undermining your masculine identity, your self, confidence, your pleasure. Now let's talk about the second murderous habit of your power, inflammatory feeding. You may not know, but what you eat has a direct impact not only on your overall health, but especially on your intimate health. Foods rich in sugar, processed fats, fried foods, excessive alcoholic beverages, and industrialized products, all of these are great enemies of their erection. They ignite the body from the inside out, increase blood glucose levels, affect the liver, unbalance hormones, and impair the whole body vascularization, including the prostate. Sugar, for example, is a poison for blood vessels. Root the arterial walls, favors the clogging of the arteries, and decreases nerve sensitivity. Not to mention that it increases the risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, conditions that are directly associated with erectile dysfunction. And alcohol, so common in celebrations, meetings, social routines, it is also a silent enemy. In small doses, it may seem to relax, but over time, Alcohol interferes with liver function, hinders hormone metabolization, and may even deregulate the hypothalamus-hypophysis-gonadal axis, responsible for testosterone production. And when we talk about inflammatory feeding, we also need to mention sausages, ultra-processed foods, sodas, and even some types of refined vegetable oils that seem harmless. These foods not only get fat, they ignite, and inflammation is #1 enemy of the prostate. When its prostate is inflamed, it becomes sensitive, swollen, and begins to cause side effects on the bladder, sexual performance, ejaculation, and even orgasm intensity. If you don't take care of what you put on the plate, you are literally feeding your own helplessness. It's hard to say that, but it's the truth. And we come to the third habit that many do not even imagine it is a problem: the lack of healthy sexual stimulus, the lack of pleasure, intimacy, connection with oneself and with your partner. Yes, even the fact that it does not masturbate regularly or not having an active sex life can be harmful to your prostate and erection. It seems contradictory, but it is real. Studies show that regular ejaculation contributes to prostate health, helps eliminate toxins, reduces the risk of inflammation, and even diminishes the chance of developing more serious diseases such as prostate cancer. The problem is that many men, especially after a certain age, are moving away from sexuality, whether by routine, shame, tiredness, or because they are already discouraged by the previous failures. They lose their desire, and over time the body goes into economy mode. If you don't use it, you lose. Male physiology needs stimulus. It needs circulation, touch, pleasure. When it disappears from the routine, the body understands that it no longer needs to maintain active performance. The nerves lose sensitivity, the muscles of the pelvic floor weaken, hormonal production falls, and erection disappears. Of course, we are not talking about addictions, exaggeration, or dependence on pornography. We are talking about a healthy relationship with one's own body, with libido, with physical and emotional pleasure, which even releases well-being hormones, reduces stress, and improves even sleep. When man allows himself to feel, he allows himself to live pleasure with conscience. He reconnects himself with his masculine essence. He rescues control of his own body. And this is reflected directly at the power of the erection. What I want you to understand with all this is that these three habits, physical inactivity, inflammatory diet, and the absence of healthy sexual stimulation, are not just harmless behaviors. They are, in fact, silent destroyers of their intimate health, their virility, their trust as a man. They create an internal scenario where erection becomes increasingly rare, weak, and unsatisfactory. Worse, they do it slowly, so subtle that when you realize you are already living a life without pleasure, without desire, without connection with your body. If you are realizing that something makes sense to you, if any of these habits are present in your routine, it's time to wake up. But before showing you what you can do to change it from now on, I want to invite you to do something very important. Comment down which of these three habits caught your attention. You can write, "I need to move more," or "I'll cut sugar from today," or even, "I need to reconnect with my pleasure." It can be a simple phrase like, "I want my power back." It helps not only you, but also other men who are going through it in silence. Now that you have understood what is quietly undermining your power, it's time to turn the key, to take control of your intimate health back. And that requires no magic formula, no expensive procedures, no instant solutions that only make up the problem. What you need is attitude. Simple, natural, and scientifically proven actions that, made consistently, can bring real, deep, and lasting results. Best of all, you can start applying it today, then at your home, without depending on anyone. The change is in your hands. Let's start with the base of everything, the movement. If the lack of circulation is preventing blood from reaching the penis, then the first step is to restore this flow. And you don't have to start with a gym or intense training. Just take a step, literally. Daily walking is one of the best exercises to activate blood circulation, strengthen the heart, improve metabolism, and reduce systemic inflammation. Just walking 30 minutes a day, preferably in the morning with firm steps and constant rhythm, you start to reverse the internal stagnation board. His body understands that he is moving and reacts more actively, more alive. Circulation improves, energy increases, and its erection begins to give signs of life again. But here is an important detail that most men ignore. During this walk, practice diaphragmatic breathing. Pull the air by the nose, bringing the air to the abdomen and slowly loosen through the mouth. Do this consciously. This breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the state of relaxation and recovery of the body. It reduces cortisol levels, stress hormone, and improves tissue oxygenation, including genitals. This creates a conducive internal environment for your body to produce testosterone again, in a balanced and natural way. Now let's talk about the fuel you are putting on your body. Your diet needs to stop being a poison and start being medicine. One of the most powerful foods for the health of prostate and erection is tomatoes, especially when consumed cooked or in the form of homemade sauce. It is very rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that reduces inflammation of the prostate, protects cells against aging, and improves circulation. Including tomatoes in your daily life is simple, cheap, and effective. But it doesn't stop there. Another valuable ally is walnuts, especially the nuts of the ordinary type, those with hard shell and slightly bitter flavor. They are rich in good fats, zinc, selenium, and vitamin E, nutrients that help in hormonal production, improve the lipid profile of blood, and act directly on male reproductive health. One handful a day is enough to offer these benefits. Consume regularly, and your body will answer. And we can't stop talking about an increasingly known root worldwide, Peruvian maca. This millennial plant has been used for centuries by Andean peoples to increase vital energy, libido, and sexual performance. Rich in bioactive compounds, it acts directly on the hormonal axis, stimulating desire, improving the quality of erection, and promoting a sense of well-being. Many men who include stretcher in the routine report not only improvement in sex life, but also in mood, concentration, and even physical disposition. It can be consumed in powder or capsules, and most importantly, with constancy. But as important as what you consume is what you avoid. And here comes a delicate theme, but it needs to be spoken clearly. Excessive use of pornography. Yes, pornography, when consumed in excess, may be draining its power. The male brain responds to pornography with a dopamine explosion, the neurotransmitter of pleasure. But this artificial dopamine is so intense and repetitive that over time the brain is creating a tolerance. This means that you start to need increasingly strong, more extreme, more unrealistic stimuli. And in real life, with a real partner or partner, your body just no longer reacts. The erection fails, the desire disappears, the connection disappears. In addition, compulsive consumption of pornography deregulates the brain reward system, generates anxiety, insecurity, procrastination, and even depression. Men addicted to pornography often become passive, lose the impetus, initiative, and, of course, virility. So if you feel you are using pornography as an exhaust valve, as an escape from reality, as a replacement of true pleasure, it may be time to take a break, to redirect this desire to something more constructive. Conscious masturbation without visual stimulus, focusing on body sensation and breathing, can be a way to reconnect with your body without causing the harmful effects of excessive pornography. Healthy sexuality begins in respect for their own body, in real contact, in the presence, in the intimacy of truth. And it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not. The important thing is to rescue this relationship with yourself. Feeling pleasure again without guilt, without shame, without haste. Healthy sexual stimulus is a workout for your body. It activates hormones, strengthens muscles, improves mood, and prepares you to live sexuality in a full, confident, and satisfactory way. And all this, along with the right habits, creates a positive cycle that feeds its power. According to serious studies, including the Harvard University, men who maintain a routine of regular physical and sexual activity have up to 40% less erection problems. And this is no coincidence. The body was made to move, to press, to feel. When you align the physical with the emotional, the hormonal with the nutritional, it all starts to get in the axles again. The erection returns, confidence comes back, the pleasure comes back, and that's exactly what I want you to live. A return to your natural state of power. No hurry, but with determination. Don't wait for your body to break completely to just try to fix it. Start now with small actions. Walk, breathe, feed with conscience, reduce artificial stimuli, stimulate with presence. All of this is part of a body, hormonal and emotional re-education process that will turn your intimate health from the inside out. And if you have come here with me, it is because you are committed to this transformation. Now, tell me in the comments, which of these actions are you going to start today? Write down here, "I'll walk every day," or "goodbye sugar," or even "enough pornography." It may seem simple, but this gesture of writing helps you make a commitment to yourself, and you still inspire other men to do the same. If you want your virility back, your body needs your decision, and it is now that it starts. If you stayed with me here, congratulations. This shows that you are committed to your health, your virility, and your transformation. Now it's time to take the next step. Subscribe to the channel right now, because here you will continue to receive deep, practical, and direct content, made especially for men who, like you, want to recover control of their own power, self-esteem, and life itself. And do me a favor? Comment down here, "I chose to change." This simple phrase is a sign of commitment. Writing this will help you firm this new path inside you, and you can inspire other men who are living the same situation but are still silent. If this video helped you in any way, leave the like. It strengthens the channel and shows me that it is worth keeping this kind of content. And now don't stop here. Watch the next video that is appearing here on the screen, because in it I will show you the daily habits that will keep your erection strong and your healthy prostate for many and many years. I hope you there.